Let's talk about doing the whip stitch to stitch down our pumpkin. Now, here's my little pumpkin, but I'm not going to use him in the demo because I'm going to use a really contrasting thread so that you can see the stitch, and we're not going to do that to the pumpkin. We're going to use this little demo piece. So here I have my wool and my background, and I'm going to stitch this bell to the background. I'm going to use this yellow because I want you to be able to see the stitches. Remember, you are wanting to choose threads that coordinate with your wool piece, not contrast, especially if you are new to this. If you aren't new to this, you can go crazy with whatever colors you want because you probably have very good stitches and are very confident in your stitches. With wool, the whip stitch is actually the easiest stitch to do. It goes really fast. It's a great stitch to use to quickly tack your pieces onto your background. I'm going to use pearl cotton because I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. And for this demo, I'm using a pearl cotton because I really want for this demo, I am using a pearl cotton in a contrasting color so you can see my stitches. Remember that if you are new to this and aren't yet confident in your stitches, then you want to do a single strand of embroidery floss in a coordinating color. To do a whip stitch, I'm going to bring my needle up about 1/8 of an inch inside the wool. So there's where my thread comes up. Whip stitches work perpendicular to the edge of the wool. So I'm going to lay this down where it's perpendicular so I can see that line, and I'm going to bring the stitch straight down and pull it through to create that perpendicular line so you can see. And you can see it is a tiny stitch. It's just enough to hold the wool in place. So again, I'm going to bring this up and then bring it down. Into a perpendicular spot. Okay? Now, the reason it's called whip stitch is because when you get a little bit faster, you actually bring your needle down, and instead of pulling your thread all the way through, you push it back up so that it's coming up on the inside. And then when you pull it, the thread whips through and creates that line. So again, I'm going to bring it down. That's the spot where I want my stitch to end. And then I'm going to kind of scoop and push that needle up. That's where the next stitch will begin. So these stitches, I want to try to keep them equal distance apart. And keep those lines perpendicular. Now you may find that your stitches start to have a certain uniformity. And that's a good thing. I have discovered as I stitch, my stitches tend to be very small. That is just how my hands work when I'm stitching. The more you stitch, the more you will find your flow, and you will find what your hands just kind of automatically do to create your stitches. So you can see, once I stopped focusing so hard on demoing them perfectly, I started creating a much more uniform stitch as I went. When you get to curves, your stitches actually need to come a little closer together. And remember, you always want to be perpendicular to the edge of your wool. So you might find that these little stitches get closer together, but these stitches will get further apart. All right, so that is whip stitch, just bringing it up and down all the way around, working to make it perpendicular to the edge of your wool as you go.